Hi lingerie lovers, I'm Sammy Cole.
And I'm Jess Wild.
And this week we are showing you our top 10 tips for stripping. Now, the reason I've got Jess on with me today is because she used to be a burlesque performer.
I did.
So what she doesn't know about taking off your clothes is not worth knowing.
No, I'm great at it.
So our first point, style.
So think about style before you design your routine. Do you want this to be sexy? Do you want it to be funny? Or maybe it's near Christmas, Valentine's Day. Do you want to theme it? This is going to set the premise for the rest of your routine.
Our second point, music.
Now, just because you're not performing this on stage doesn't mean you don't need to think about music. Music sets the pace for your routine, it also sets the mood for it, and it determines how long it's going to be. So my top tips are to choose a song that you know, choose a song with a predictable rhythm. Blues is really popular in burlesque because it's sexy and it's predictable, and don't go for something too slow. Too slow tends to make things drag out a little bit, so go for a nice natural pace you can move to that's really easy, something you like as well is really important.
Maybe something more like this. Point number 3, get your right outfit.
So I think it's pretty obvious that outfit is a key part of your routine. So main points to remember are, pick an outfit that you really like wearing and taking off. The whole point of a striptease is you want it to take time. If you wear just one piece of clothing, that's going to be very quick. So make sure you layer up. I always recommend at least a bra, a top and a cardigan, but you can play with that. Of course, go for something that's easy to take off. Don't be fiddling around with buckles and straps. If you've got something with poppers or even better Velcro or slip on and off, those are going to save you a lot of time in the moment. And it's important you decide how much you actually want to take off. So do you want to go to full nude, or are you just slipping off a couple of garments to give the idea of a striptease? This is all going to determine how much thought you need to put into your head-to-toe outfit.
Point number 4, choreography.
A phrase you may have heard knocking about the burlesque world is tease, not sleaze, and this is something to really remember with your choreography. By tease, we mean take your time over every move. So don't just whip a piece of clothing off, take as long as you can, maybe cover it back up again, remove it again. Basically, don't be afraid to take your time. Pose to flatter, so if a certain position makes you feel great, it's going to look great too. And don't worry about problem areas. A really great trick is to literally point at where you want your partner to look. If you love your boobs, make sure that they are looking at them, and all the while they won't be looking at that other problem area that you don't really want them to notice.
Our 5th point, removal.
When it comes to removals, this isn't you just getting undressed like you do before bed. We don't just want to take it off and chuck it on the floor. Don't just whip off your clothes. Make sure you take your time over it. Play with the removal. Make them literally sweat to see that piece of skin. And a point that a lot of people tend to forget is where that piece of clothing goes once you've taken it off. Don't just drop it at your feet. You're going to trip over it. My best advice is to either throw it completely out of the way, not onto any candles, but out of the way of where you're going to trip over them, or to your partner. I'm sure they'd love to have a pair of your pants in their lap.
Point number 6, practice.
Now we all know practice makes perfect, and never is this more true than when you're practicing a striptease. Practice is also a really great way of building your own confidence, so I definitely recommend practicing in front of a mirror, and if you can, record yourself and play it back. Not only will it allow you to perfect those little moves that you might think, oh, my arm needs to be half an inch higher there, but also I bet you're going to look even better than you thought you did, and it's a great confidence booster before you do the final performance.
Point number 7, set the mood.
Setting the mood is pretty simple. The main points you need to remember are lighting and surroundings. So just the same way you don't want to trip over your clothes, check there's nothing on the floor you're going to fall over. Make sure you've got enough floor space to actually perform your routine. Nobody likes performing under really harsh white lighting. It's not the most flattering. Candlelight is great, or another top tip is to perform in front of a window. You'll create a great silhouette sort of an effect. Just remember to shut the curtains.
Point number 8, finishing touches.
Finishing touches are all about the things that make you feel great. So this is, if you like wearing makeup, make sure it is on point. Wear perfume. Your partner probably won't be able to smell it, but it's going to make you feel great, and it'll eke that confidence up another level. And as we all know, confidence is sexy. A final point is props. This is another thing to think about. You may not want to use any at all, but personally I really like bringing a feathered tickler into striptease because you can point at the areas you want your partner to look at. These are all things that you might like to add in just at the last minute.
Point number 9, face.
Face is everything with this. Even if you forget everything you've thought about with your body, your face tells the complete story. Face! You need to look as though you're having fun up there, and the best way to do that is to wear a smile. Make sure you look like you're having a good time, and also think about eye contact. There are two ways you can manipulate eye contact. You can either look directly into your partner's eyes, which can be really quite exciting and intimate, or you can look at the pieces of clothing you're removing. By looking at those garments, you'll guide your partner's eye there as well. It's another way of controlling where your partner looks as you remove those bits of clothing.
And point number 10, have fun.
So point number 10, fun. This is probably the most important one of the whole list. Even if you forget everything else that we've told you here today, the most important thing is that you look like you're having a good time when you're up there. The quickest ways you can do this is to think about what I just mentioned, so face and movement. So keep a smile on your face and keep moving. Even if it goes wrong, don't worry, keep going. The show must go on. And don't forget, this doesn't need to be perfect, so don't concentrate too much on the finer details. When it comes right down to it, your lover is going to love what you're doing for them. The fact you've taken time out to practice this routine and perform it for them is such a loving and intimate gesture. So don't get hung up on the little details and just concentrate on having a good time and, of course, taking your clothes off.
So there you go, the only 10 things you need to know about taking off your clothes. So thanks to Jess for coming on. You can see her every single week on Bondage Gone Wild. So if you click subscribe down in the corner, you can see me every single Monday with a brand new video. You can also see our 2 other sexperts as well. Don't forget to let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below, or whether you have any tips yourself. And don't forget to come back next Monday for a brand new video. Merry Christmas!